So there's been a lot of interaction and great response to the XReal One review unfiltered and sponsor video that I posted a couple of weeks ago, but there were a few questions that I think require a follow-up. There were 4 main things that I distilled or condensed from many of the comments. One of them being, if you update the firmware of the glasses, does it help with the clarity, especially on the edges? The second would be, test properly the widescreen for productivity. The third one would be gaming, because that didn't make it in the first video. And the last one is, how do these compare to other similar products like the XReal Pro or the Feature something. So for the impatient ones, the firmware that I had here installed was the 15.1.01. I updated to the last one, or to the latest one. This is on May 2025, which is the 15.1.02, and it didn't make that much of a difference. I believe that for some of you, it did make a difference when you upgraded the firmware, but you might have been jumping from different versions. This one was already a pretty latest version, so that didn't help much. Then when it comes to testing the widescreen for productivity, I'm going to go into details a bit later, but there were 2 main reasons why I didn't like it. The first one is that the vertical resolution is still 1080p, and at this time and age, I prefer, for productivity purposes, to work with more resolution. And the second one is that what you get is a view to a widescreen. So imagine that you have the widescreen in front of you, but you have just a window to it. I do appreciate my peripheral view, and that's why this is not a good use case for me personally. The third one was gaming. So I've been testing it with this, and this is a Lenovo Legion Go, and also with a laptop that I have, which is the Lenovo Legion Slim 5 with 64 gigs of RAM, a Ryzen 7 and a 4070. And well, what I can see is that it's actually quite useful and quite nice with something like the Legion Go. This is a 8.8 inch screen, and yes, the XReal projection is bigger than what you get with this 8-inch screen at gaming distance. So that's a use case that I can see. When using it as a display for my laptop, however, that laptop has a 16.1-inch screen, and at the working distance or laptop distance, the projection is not that much bigger, and the screen resolution and screen quality is noticeably better, for me at least, on the laptop compared to the XReal ones. So I actually prefer to play with a laptop on my lap and without the XReal glasses. But gaming tested. And yes, I am a fake gamer, but we're gonna get to that later. And then how about compared to other similar devices? The main reason that these videos are unsponsored and unfiltered is not because I am some sort of Cape Crusader trying to help you get proper reviews of products. Is because this channel is so small that nobody sent me absolutely anything other than the best small lights ever manufactured on this absolute planet, because I got this for free so I could review it, and I can say without a trace of a doubt that this is absolutely the best thing that has been ever invented. But since I paid for this, I can tell what I think. Since I still feel that this type of product is on its infancy and there's a lot of development to be done, and they are quite pricey for what they offer, in my opinion, and for my use cases, there's no point for me owning several similar devices like this just for review purposes. So sorry, you will not get comparisons unless somebody starts sending me devices like this. But now for some more details, and the first thing is my surprise of the reception of this video. At the time of writing the script for this one, it got 13,600 views, which in the same time period is about 13,500 more views than the normal videos. And there was a ton of comments as well. And I wanted just to thank everybody that commented on that video, because there was something that, in my opinion, was spectacular. There were a lot of people thanking for the unbiased and solid and sponsored and filtered review. But then there were quite people that were critical of it. People that did not agree with me, people that they have been enjoying these glasses in use cases that I did not enjoy them, people that were suggesting me to test different things. The nice surprise was that all those comments were civil. They were polite, they were constructive, they were asking questions, they were giving me suggestions, they were disagreeing with me constructively and politely. For a moment, I even forgot that this video is actually on the internet. So thank you everyone that commented, because I think that the world is a better place if we are polite and civil to each other. But let's talk firmware first. So there was quite a few people that commented on the first video that they had improvements or clear improvements on clarity and sharpness when updating to newer firmware. I do believe it, but when I got these glasses, I suppose they were already with quite new firmware. And again, checking the versions, when I got this from the store, they had the 15.1.01 installed and a bunch of other numbers. And then the latest upgrade as of end of May 2025, it jumped to 15.1.02. Even looking at the release notes, it says things like there's improvements for the X button, also improvements of stability and the anchoring or floating mode, and then some bugs fixed. I assume that if they would have improved the sharpness and clarity, it would have been clearly spelled out in the release notes. So maybe a little bit of disappointment that it didn't improve for me. I still do believe that it improved for many of you, but when it comes to my own personal experience with the 15.1.02 firmware, the edges are still a little bit too blurry for my taste, especially if you put the screen at the limits of the field of view, which to me, it's something that should be able to do. Then the next one was the widescreen for productivity. When I tried it with my Dell work laptop, it didn't quite help. It just looked like a normal screen with pink cushion. And I think I mentioned that it might have been a user error, and it was. So that's something on me. What was happening is that basically the screen was being duplicated, and it would duplicates, then the aspect ratio remains. Silly me. I tested it again, then just extending the screens, and what you get is an actual white screen in front of you on the XReal ones in your face that has a resolution of 3840 times 1080. So basically it's 4K on the horizontal axis and 1080p on the vertical axis. When it comes to the resolution, which is the amount of things that you will see and amount of pixels, this is smaller than my normal 27-inch 4K screen. So yes, the aspect ratio is wider, but the amount of pixels does not increase massively or dramatically. And I'm used, when I really spend time working on a computer, to work with 4K screens nowadays. So that was a bit of a disappointment. The bigger issue for me though was the kind of the wing aspect of it. So there is a widescreen plastered in front of you, but you get just a window to it. So if you want to see what's happening there, you really need to move your head to the both sides. I'll try to show it how it feels. This might work for some people. It is a no-go for me. I don't hyperfocus. Usually I really make use of my peripheral view. What I usually do when I'm working is I have in the middle of the screen or on the side, whatever document, product thing that I'm working on. And on my peripheral view, whether to be in another screen underneath or on the sides, I might have email, I might have chat, I might have calendar, I might have things that will pop notifications. It is distracting, but for a purpose. If I really want to be hyper-focused, I just hide those things away. What happens with the XReal, with the widescreen, is that in order for me to see what's happening on that peripheral view, I need to move my head to see if there's a notification or anything. Otherwise, that's invisible. And that feels a little bit jarring. It might work well for some people. It's a use case that doesn't work for me, unfortunately. I appreciate a little bit too much my peripheral view. And then many people ask me about gaming. Some people were a bit sad that gaming didn't make it into the first video, so now I did try it. So first of all, let me say that I am a fake gamer. I do not play online. I'm really bad at gaming, actually. I tend to like single player games and only those that have an easy level of difficulty so that I can enjoy the landscape. So take my gaming with a grain of salt. We're gonna be checking into devices and you're gonna laugh at me when you see how I play with my laptop. So the first use case is this one, the Lenovo Legion Go. So this is a Windows 11 computer with a bit different form factor and kind of a Xbox style controller attached to it instead of a keyboard. I guess it's a little bit designed to compete with a Steam Deck. I enjoy it. It's a nice device. It has an 8.8-inch screen with a resolution of 2560 times 1600. But because of the computing power or lack thereof, most likely you're going to be playing at 1080p or even at 800p with the doubling, halving resolution. It's easy for the Lenovo to basically use it. So here the resolution is not such a big deal, and playing with the XReal ones actually gives you the same resolution experience with a much bigger sense of a display, regardless of how close you put it. Okay, if you put it here in front of your face, then maybe you would have a bigger perceived real estate, but you're not gonna see anything. So for playing with the Legion Go, it worked pretty well. And here what I tried is a couple of games that I've been enjoying. So I tried with Cyberpunk 2077 and also with Horizon Zero Dawn. Both of them really different, but open world exploratory games with a little bit of fighting and not too much if you put it in the easy settings, which I enjoy very much. Fake gamer here. But yeah, good alternative. I can see why people enjoy these type of devices with a Steam Deck or something similar, especially if you're going to be playing, like even lying on your bed. It's easier on the arms because just have them folded down, and then you just can project this to the ceiling, and I can see that working. And with the Legion Go, a little bit of lack of clarity and sharpness on the borders when gaming is not such a big deal, unless you have some really critical information there, which you don't because it's anyway put a little bit more to the middle, and it's just part of the landscape, which makes it okay. Lately though, I've been gaming mostly with my laptop, which is a Lenovo Legion Slim 5. It has a Ryzen 7 processor, a 4070 graphics card, and I upgraded it so that it has 64 gigs of RAM and 5 terabytes of disk. I can recommend upgradable laptops compared to very powerful laptops, by the way. The screen resolution is the same than the Legion Go. It's a 2560 x 1600, and it's a 16.1 inch screen. It's bright, it looks really good. And because it's a lot more powerful than the Legion Go, games play at that resolution with much higher settings. So what happens when I put the XReal ones plugged into the laptop, you lose resolution and you do not gain that much real estate. Basically, and we talked about this in the first video, you might have a 300-inch screen at 7 meters, but when it comes to the field of view, that's not much different than the 16-inch screen of the laptop at laptop working distance, which is literally on my lap while I'm sitting on a rocking chair and playing with a controller. I heard the gasps in the back. I already said it, I'm a fake gamer, but I do enjoy the games. So when it comes to the XReal ones and gaming, I can see it with portable gaming, with a Nintendo Switch. I didn't try it, by the way, but I could have. And I can see that working also. I can see it working with things like the Legion Go or the Steam Deck. If you're playing in a laptop, I would be hard-pressed to see when, in which occasions these would be, or these would give you a better experience than the laptop. Could be, but it didn't for me. And again, what kind of games a fake gamer plays. So in my case, I enjoy the open world games that have a very easy difficulty mode that I can just roam around, explore, fight a little bit and have some fun. So this includes things like Cyberpunk 2077,
Hey, I got the encryption key for Carrot Exotics. Nice work. Beat one other thing.
The Witcher 3, I am aware that it's a 10-year-old game, but it's great. Horizon, both Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. I enjoyed really much actually Star Wars Outlaws, despite the bad press it gets. It was fun. And I like looking at Red Redemption 2, but it's a little bit too difficult for me. I'm sorry. Please don't unsubscribe. And the last request that came several times in the comments that I cannot accommodate is again comparing them to other stuff. As I said, for the impatient ones, this is a short section. Unless somebody starts sending me this kind of devices, I will not be buying more because I don't have the need for them or not even the want for them. So the only reason for me to buy them would be to make videos like this for comparison, but that's a little bit too expensive considering that this channel is pretty much bringing no money at all. So my apologies to you guys that wanted to hear the comparison. Call for action to any company that would like to send me these things. Project Aura started sounding interesting, so that they're actually talking about real XR, reinforcing the views that this might not be XR. So let's see, I don't think they're gonna send them to me, so apologies, here we are. And this video And this video turns out to be much longer than I expected, but hopefully some of your questions that you had in the first video now got answered in this one. If you still have something that I could give you an answer to, let me know down below. And please, let's keep the super nice, healthy, polite, constructive atmosphere, even if we disagree. The world will be a better place. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe if you liked the video. If you have the XReal Ones, if you have the Legion Go or Legion Slim, or you like Cyberpunk, or you enjoyed Star Wars Outlaws, or maybe you like to play Horizon Forbidden West, or you just have a Sony ZV-1 filming you time to time. Yeah, this will be good enough reasons to like and subscribe. So we'll see you soon for some more content.